Hey, everybody. It's Kristin.
And Jenny.
And we're here to tell you that nobody, and we mean nobody, messes with our boyfriends.
That's canonically true.
We're going on tour. What are we doing, Jenny? Where are we going?
The Nobody Messes With My Boyfriend tour is stopping in New York on October 18th, Philadelphia on October 19th, and Burlington, Vermont for the first time ever on October 29th. We are doing live tapings of, in order, What's My Line Part 1, What's My Line Part 2, and Ted.
Everyone's favorite episode, Ted. I'm so excited to talk about Ted in front of a live audience. I cannot even begin to express it.
It's going to be great.
You can find out all of the information you need to know at bufferingcast.com/live or check out our calendar where our events always live. Tickets go on sale for our patrons only tomorrow, Thursday, August 28th.
And then on sale to the general public Friday, August 29th. So come on out, join us for some live tapings that will be a hoot and possibly a nanny. And, we'd love to see you try to mess with our boyfriends.
Bufferingcast.com/live.
DC High Volume, Batman. The Dark Knight's definitive DC Comics stories. Adapted directly for audio for the very first time. Fear. I have to make them afraid.
He's got a motorcycle. Get after him or I'll have you shot.
You mean blow up the building?
From this moment on, none of you are safe. New episodes every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, and welcome back to Buffering the Vampire Slayer. Once more with spoilers, subtitle, Watcher's Diary 2.07, Lie to Me, parentheses. This time it's personal.
Wow.
Do you think it will be personal? Hi, Kristin.
I hope it gets personal. It's always good when it does.
Can I solemnly swear something? Actually,
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you. Sorry, what I'm thinking of is that I had something to solemnly swear about our next episode, but I'm gonna say it now so that you can hold me accountable.
Okay.
On Watcher's Diaries, there are no rules. In our main feed, episodes about Buffy, I'm gonna try to talk about Xena Warrior Princess a little bit less. That is my solemn vow to you.
I don't know if the people are going to be happy about that. But
I feel like, can't we just neaten it up around the tree a little bit?
listen, that'll kick me right off into the first email, which is from Robin. Firstly, hell yes to the more free-ranging approach to the episode. Lie to Me was the first time that we said, you know what? Screw the rules. We're not going beat by beat anymore. We're going to talk about our feelings.
Yeah, we said, we're getting too old for this shit.
Robin said, made for a really interesting discussion. And then here's where it ties into what you just said, Jenny. And I don't think it particularly increased the level of Xena references. Robin continues, secondly, this is why I paused to email. You replayed Willow lying, and that scene finishes with Ford saying, nice girl, and Buffy saying, there aren't two of those in the world. We know, of course, that in season 3, there will be 2 Willows in the world.
What a great point. What an astute observation.
Incredible. Buffy is preemptively lying.
However, when there are, quote, 2 of those in the world, end quote, I would argue that those two iterations are not the same.
That's true.
Except for maybe one key component.
And then there's a thirdly here, which I also want to read. Robin says, would that it were, which I mostly read it for that because I knew Jenny would really love.
I love would that it were-ing.
Yeah. Would that it were something I could put down to my youth, but really it was until my mid-20s, or it was my mid-20s until my mid to late 30s, I spent a lot of time very heavily involved to an international level in the, quote, Vampire the Masquerade, end quote, live action role-playing chronicle, which I enjoyed greatly for the most part. But local chapter games, if we're being honest, most commonly resembled the Sunset Club, albeit they'd have died for that venue. Now, while I could go on and talk about bringing this international game together to have events like around 1,000+ people playing a single improvisational theater vampire role game in New Orleans, you don't need to hear those old war stories. But it got me to thinking about the episode. This is very interesting to me. In vampire LARPing, people dress up. Robin typed out live action role playing, but I'm too old to keep saying so many words.
I think saying LARPing really infuses you with a youthful vigor.
They act out. They pretend. They run stories. Could Angel, in his disdain for having, quote, seen this type before, in fact be running into the various chapters across the U.S. and beyond playing White Wolf's masquerade game? Could Ford have run into Sunnydale's local troupe, running a plot line where characters seek to be made into vampires and simply rolled himself into the storyline? In some ways, this headcanon, given how many people in Sunnydale of all places are involved, seems more likely than a theme of, in Willow's words, vampires, yay, where everyone except Ford and Spike and crew are pretending? What do you think, Jenny?
Kristin?
No, I'm keeping it in the fucking video, bitch. What do you have to say for yourself?
I don't want to be in trouble.
How much did you hear? None. What were you doing?
No, I remembered something that I need to talk about, and I was pulling up a supporting website so that I wouldn't forget.
Okay, so why don't you tell me what you think I might have said? Just your general idea of anything I may have just said to you.
Off my...
No. No off mics. There are no off mics in baseball or in Watcher's Diaries.
Oh God! Oh no! I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be better.
Okay. I will save all of you from me reading again to Jenny what I just read to all of you.
Okay, so like Chanterelle and Diego, they're all LARPing, thinking that Spike and Ford and everyone are also LARPing.
Yes.
To be quite frank, this is an idea too large and complicated to fit inside the mind of someone who has a toddler.
Right. It's not complicated.
But how?
What do you mean how? You find the LARPers and you say, I would like to join your LARPing. And then you say, let's do this storyline.
Oh, wait. So you're saying they're saying that Ford pulled a trick over on...
Yeah, he pretended to be LARPing and they all thought that Spike was also
He was LARPing as a LARPer.
He was LARPing as a... Whoa. Yeah. LARPing as a LARPer. Monkey LARP,
LARP when the podcast LARPs, as I always say. So far, I think we're off to an incredible start.
Yeah, definitely. Have you ever seen a show called Kindred: The Embraced?
No.
No, me either.
I want to know more.
It was just Robin's last note in this email, an epically 90s vampire show, which is directly an interpretation of White Wolf's whole role-playing universe. And it includes some alumni from Buffy. Jeff Cobell, Brian Thompson, your favorite large-tongued actor.
Oh, my God.
Shannon Rowan, Bridget Walsh. And then there's a picture of... a brooding vampire romance character that looks like a prototype of Angel, played by the tragic Mark Frankel. Anyway, Robin had a lot to say, and I liked all of it. And Jenny liked it the second time so much.
Listen.
Good God. In case you're just entering Watcher's Diaries, they are where we talk about all of the very interesting things that our listeners send in, and Jenny listens sometimes.
No. There were extenuating circumstances.
Okay, what were you looking up?
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
There's something that I wanted to share with our listeners. I'm always trying to figure out what's the point closest to the end of this story that I can start it at, because often my impulse is to be like, once upon a time in 1981. Okay. Recently I did a thing. Is this weird? I don't know. But I was getting ready to let go of some guitars because I have, accidentally accumulated too many. Mm-hmm. And I also have this sort of like ongoing shoulder issue that has required me to start playing smaller bodied guitars. So I have a lot of like deeper bodied acoustics that it was time to find new homes for. And 3 of the guitars that I was letting go were sort of like, I had had them for a very long time. One of them I wrote, probably 95% of the buffering songs, like wow, 90% of my catalog, like many, many songs. One of them was the guitar I wrote my first record on and recorded it using that guitar. Yeah. So rather than take them to...
You didn't ask me if I wanted any of them.
No, I did not.
Which was rude, actually.
Well, rather than take them to trade in at a guitar store or put them on Reverb or whatever, I decided to make those 3 guitars available if people who pay attention to what I do in the world were interested. And they all ended up going to like really special homes. And it really, really worked out and made me so happy. And I wanted to tell you about one of the people who is now the proud owner of one of my guitars. Bo lives in Maryland and does really beautiful woodworking. But the reason that I really wanted to talk about it on the podcast is because when I was like emailing back and forth with Bo, they like told me their name and that they like did a little bit of woodworking. So I like flew to Google, as I often do while we're recording this podcast, much to your chagrin. Personal woodwork portfolio is called 5x5 Studio. And I was like, excuse me? And Bo actually ended up sending me a wooden box that is 5x5x5. Oh, actually, let me show it to you, Kristin, since we're on video.
Yeah, can I see it? Oh, it's so cool. Will you unlatch it for us?
I will.
Is it still an unboxing if what you're unboxing is the box itself?
I think it's actually, it amplifies the power of the unboxing if what you're unboxing is a box.
Is a box. So can we put a link in the show notes so that I can purchase my own 5x5x5 box?
Yes. Anyone listening, you can find Bo's woodwork at bobuilt.me. That's BOBUILT.me. And Kristin will put a link in the show notes.
Don't tell me what I'll do.
You just said you would.
Yeah, but I can only say that.
Okay.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us.
I thought this seemed particularly relevant to our listeners' interests.
I have a couple of sort of follow-ups on follow-ups on follow-ups, or at least one that I know about. One is about Bluey. I know this is not a podcast about Bluey, but I just want to, since we're talking about links that I'm going to include in the show notes, Ed, our listener Ed, wrote in and said, if you want to come back to the Bluey theme for a 3rd time, I thought it worth sharing this from another podcast, which looks at the Bluey theme from a musical perspective. Strong Songs Podcast is the name of the at least it's the name of the website, so I assume it's the name of the podcast. And so I'm going to put a link to that in the show notes for people who have been going down the Bluey rabbit hole.
Yes,
with us because it's very interesting, even to me, a non-musical person.
Well, you're a person who's interested in music.
I am. And yeah, so Ed, thank you for that. And I will include that link.
I love that Bluey is just the gift that keeps on giving. Kristin, we haven't even talked about Survivor, which season 49 just started this week.
Don't. I have a cue for you to talk about Survivor.
All right.
I'm sure I'm going to get there. I'm sure I'm going to figure it out. I think I'm going to figure it out. But I want to follow up on one other thing for the show notes, which is, so Michelle wrote in and said, hey, I probably should use Google to look this up, but you said you were going to share the Rihanna S&M music video and you didn't. So can you share it? Jenny, I don't believe you shared either video. We aired Halloween so long ago. We made these 2 incredible videos and at least one person is looking for them.
Okay,
so this is your cue.
This is my wake-up call.
Mm-hmm. You have to share at least the S&M video before next Wednesday so that I can include the link in my show notes. Okay.
Jenny's
Michelle,
in trouble.
Hang on. It's coming.
Yes, hang on.
It's coming
Michelle.
your way. All right. Now I give you, also thank you to the listener who wrote in to tell us that they have had sex on the bathroom floor. They were 23.
Did you say at the age of 23?
At the yes, that was their defense. In my defense, I was 23. My brain was not fully developed. I'm going to keep you anonymous because I'm not sure if you wanted that to be public information.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. And it was like nested, like the subject of the email was bathroom floor. So then I clicked on it and it was, I have had sex on a bathroom floor.
I'm so pleased.
Yeah, really, really good shit. Wow. Okay, let me see if I can find the email that cues Jenny up. Oh, right. Of course. It's the one that begins. The subject, you know how you get me to read your fucking email? The subject line is, Kristin was right. And then it continues, and wow, do I have a show for Jenny. Okay. Are you ready, Jenny?
I've never been more ready.
Hiya, Kristin and Jenny. Longtime listener. Been to a couple events. Never emailed until now. First, I want to say, by the way, this is from Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
Signed Brittany, chemistry professor, lesbian, and Buffy buffering lover. An incredible resume down there at the bottom. Okay.
Sun, moon, rising.
So Brittany says, I want to say that in the Halloween episode, Kristin was totally right and used excellent logic, thank you, Brittany, to say that it may or may not have been her in the Pack song. It could have been anyone that Buffy was talking to. Jenny countered this with how it appears on Spotify, and it does say featuring, but it lists her name in the credits. Just like it lists Tancred and not Faith or Chris Farron and not Xander. But in the Halloween song, Buffy is definitely speaking directly to Kristin. So I'm with this. I'm with Kristin on this one. Sorry, Jenny. But to make up for that, I want to make Jenny aware of the reality show. I think you might know about it, Jenny. The Traitors. Are you familiar?
Yes, I am familiar.
Okay. If you're not familiar, I'm going to continue what Brittany says. It's a mafia/werewolf-like game with Alan Cumming as the fabulous host. And there are traitors and faithful, and you vote people out of the game based on who you think is a traitor. This was what was a surprise to me. Season 1 has the incredible Suri from Survivor. Season 2 has both Parvati? Is that how you say?
Parvati.
I knew that it wasn't how you said it, but I couldn't.
Jeff Probst couldn't even say it right for her first 2 seasons.
I've only heard it. Parvati and Sandra, and season 3 has not 1, but not 2, but 4 survivors, including Rob Mariano and
That's
Carolyn
Boston Rob
Weiser.
to you, Kristin.
Boston Rob. Okay, so in case you are not Jenny and you did not know this, here's your call to watch the show. I knew of it, I think, because of you, Jenny. I think you told me about it. And then there's a link. Oh my God, I'm gonna have so many show note links to Alan Cumming's totally gay outfits. Wow.
Yeah, Alan Cumming's outfits are amazing. They're like in a huge Scottish castle.
Yes.
And he's using his Scottish accent, which you like never get to hear, which sounds great.
Wow.
Kristin.
Yes, Jenny.
Brittany?
Yes.
Since Brittany mentioned Sandra, who we have not talked about. Let me just tell you, this woman is like amazing. She's amazing. Did I talk to you about Russell at all?
I don't think so.
Okay, everybody, spoilers for like early 20s, like maybe season 21 and 22 or something. Okay, this guy Russell Hantz comes on the show, and he is, let me tell you something. He's wearing a fedora. He's wearing a fedora all day long.
Great.
And he is a total slime bucket. He comes into the game just seeking to sow the seeds of chaos. While his own tribe is asleep, like in the first few days, he's emptying their canteens. He burns people's socks so they won't have socks. He just wants to make everyone like uncomfortable and miserable. He also, Kristin,
so upset about Russell.
He finds, okay, so eventually in the game, they start introducing the hidden immunity idols. And like the way that it'll work is like you'll get a clue to where the idol is. And like if you don't find it, then like your tribe keeps getting more clues. Russell finds like in his first 2 seasons, he finds something like 6 different immunity idols without a clue. He just is like, well, they've got to be like near some kind of like notable landmark. So then he just goes like buck wild searching around notable landmarks and is like he's just like pulling stuff out from underneath like a little footbridge where
I want you to know that all I'm imagining him doing is putting his hand in like the nose from Double Dare and pulling out an immunity.
That is the vibe. That is the vibe. So oh man. So oh gosh. Russell comes back for another season with a bunch of return cast, and one of them is Sandra, and they're just like they really don't like each other. But his like tactic, he's like really skilled at like, at least in the beginning of his Survivor appearances, he is like really skilled at just like talking people out of stuff. It's like unbelievable. He makes a one-on-one alliance with every single person in his tribe on day 1 of his first season of Survivor, and like none of them know it. None of them know it.
Could never be me. I would never have the talent.
There's just this like amazing moment where I think they're down to like probably a half tribe pre-merge, and Russell and Sandra are on the same tribe, and he's just like doing his thing. He loves to be like, you're either with me or against me. And Sandra, without missing a fraction of a beat, is just like, I'm against you, Russell. Which carries more weight once you've like seen her like play and be sick. I think she also stole his hat, if I'm remembering correctly. I think she stole his fedora.
Did he burn her socks?
No, the sock burning took place in his first season.
Okay.
And he didn't...
Everybody knew to guard their socks by the time he came back.
Well, I do have questions about, because they do film 2 seasons a year, and when, like, his second season was a season where a bunch of return cast came, and none of them seemed to be, like, they all, like, a lot of them fell for a lot of the same BS.
Huh. So a question to our resident Survivor producer. Wait, was it a Survivor?
No, we have a Love Island producer. But hey, if we have any Survivor producers in the listenership, holler. I felt like people had not seen Russell's first season because these are when you have a season with like return cast, they're like way more seasoned and they know like way more what to expect. They like think about strategy different. Then, okay, Russell's third. Can I just like give you the premise of Russell's third and final season? This is basically Jeff Probst's fanfic because he's obsessed with Rob Mariano. He's just obsessed with Boston Rob. And I get it. We're all obsessed with Boston Rob. There's plenty to love. Boston Rob and Russell were like feuding on the like return cast season that they were on together, and Boston Rob ended up getting sent home before Russell. So what Jeff and the Survivor producers put together is a season where they just have 2 regular tribes of regular people, and Boston Rob goes to one of them and Russell goes on the other.
Nice.
And what I found, basically, Boston Rob just like leads all of these lambs to the slaughter one by one by one. He is just like, he won't let any, he like creates the sense of camaraderie and leadership, and everyone, of course, in his tribe is like, wow, you're Boston Rob. So he's like, he comes up with things where he's like, well, I've done this before. I've been here before. It's really important. We can't let the alliance break. So he's got like his alliance in his tribe. And then like as that tribe gets smaller and smaller, he's got this thing going where like he's like buddy system. Nobody can be alone. They all have their own buddy so that, because usually what happens when there's an alliance is somebody finds cracks from outside of the alliance and then that gets broken up. But basically Rob like bullies everyone into doing his bidding until he finally wins, which honestly I love to see Boston Rob winning.
Wait, can I ask a question about Halloween?
Yes.
Are you doing Aldrich as Jeff Probst?
Yes.
Okay, because then we need to make sure that Joanna sees this so that Boston Rob can see it so that Jeff Probst can see it.
Is Joanna? Oh, because Joanna can slide it over to Tyson, who can slide it over to Boston Rob, who can slide it over to Jeff Probst. Yeah, absolutely. Of course. Yeah, no, now we're in the thick of so we were just going to be like generic survivors.
Oh, but now you're being specific survivors.
Yeah, I have a feeling that I'm going to end up being Coach Kristin, who is a man who names himself the Dragon Slayer.
Whoa, are you going to do this to your fucking hair?
Wait, what's he doing to his hair these days?
There's two things. If you Google Survivor Coach, it pulls up American TV personality Benjamin Wade.
Right, Benjamin Wade. Yeah, I guess I'll have to style my hair to go straight back.
Honestly, the second there's like 3 photos for me, and in 2 of them he's got a half pony, which is much preferable to this situation that is in his first picture. It's sort of like a combed back top, but a fluffy bottom.
Yeah, he loves to comb back the top.
So do the half pony. They call it, there's the Rachel and then there's the Legolas. And this is the Legolas.
Yeah, he's constantly like, William Shakespeare once said, and blah, 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 like, quote, blah, 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 end quote, Marcus Aurelius. Like, he's so over the top.
You know what I need is a sound effect to end your Survivor talk. I don't have it yet, but I'm going to find a sound effect where
you got to get a clip of Jeff Probst saying, it is time to vote.
Great. So thank you, Jenny.
Thanks for listening. Sorry, everyone. So sorry. So Survivor 49 started this week. Whee! To me, fall always feels like sort of re-entering Earth's atmosphere after a long, lazy time away floating through space/summer. Between the hustle and bustle of back to school, people's routines getting busier, the days getting shorter, finding time to cook can be tough. That's why I love Factor. Their chef-prepped, dietitian-approved meals make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious, no matter how hectic your season gets. With Factor, you can choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. You can also support your wellness goals with even more GLP-1 friendly meals and new Mediterranean diet options packed with protein and good-for-you fats. From more choices to better nutrition, what's not to love? That's why 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. As somebody who's always scrambling to find a way to fit more hours into the day, I love having Factor meals in my fridge because I know I can make something satisfying quickly, feel nourished, and get back to creating. Eat smart at factormeals.com/buffering50 off and use code buffering50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code buffering50OFF at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase.
This podcast you're listening to, it was once just a dream. A dream that became reality not by accident, but because someone decided not to let the what-ifs keep them from creating something they believed in. Starting your own business is a dream lots of us share, but too many let it remain just a dream. Don't hold yourself back from creating what you believe in, and turn those what-ifs into why-nots with Shopify by your side. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world, and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. What if I can't design a website? Shopify's got you with beautiful, ready-to-go templates to match your brand's style. What if I need a hand? Get help with everyday tasks like enhancing product images, writing product descriptions, or generating discount codes with Shopify's AI tools created for commerce. What if people haven't heard about my brand? Shopify helps you find your customers with easy-to-run email and social media campaigns. And what if I get stuck? Shopify's always around to share advice with their award-winning 24/7 customer support. So turn those dreams into and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. Shopify.com/realm.
I've got a homicide in Springfield's North Woods by mile marker 16.
You are now entering Springfield. Where's the body?
Off the side of the ditch down there. You know, surrounded by all this crime scene tape.
Hello? Am I dead?
My name is John. I'm the new forensic pathologist. I can see you, and that's how we'll figure out how you were murdered.
That means ghosts are real!
Since then, I've noted multiple additional missing case files and even missing bodies.
Let's say I believe you came across some record-keeping discrepancies and a string of deaths. You're not an investigator, Jonathan. Stop trying to be one.
After everything I've discovered, I just need to know why. What happened in Springfield?
Going somewhere, Dr. Spacer?
Listen to How I Died, a full-cast police and medical procedural podcast with over 40 episodes already available. Then, tune into Season 4 of How I Died, releasing now on all podcast apps.
Okay, you want a couple more emails? I usually give you choices. We've got Marcy the Invisible Incel, ? Spike and the Pain of Truth from Lie to Me. That's a Lie to Me direct. And then we also have this one. There's no suggestion in the title about what it's about. So I will say that there's another email that is asking some questions about songwriting. So which one do you want to start with?
Let's start in the middle with Pain and Truth.
All right. It's a short but sweet, powerful email from Jojo. Hello, Kristin with an I, Noeline, straight to the point. Spike always tells and embraces the truth despite the pain it may cause, or precisely because of the pain it may cause. He accepts Buffy's truth of being in heaven because he can accept the pain of that truth. He rejects Buffy's declaration of love in the finale because he knows it's not the truth, even though that truth may hurt. He keeps his word with Ford to turn him into a vampire and then leaves him behind because he knows it will cause Buffy pain to have to slay Ford when he rises.
She's got goosebumps.
Mic drop from JoJo.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good shit.
Why did it just get so dark over here?
Oh my God, it's so Jenny's just sitting in the dark. You want to turn your light on now, Jenny?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. And then I'm going to go to Marcy, the Invisible Incel.
Okay.
This one's from Maiju. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. Maiju, Maiju. Hi, Kristin and Jenny, and greetings from Finland. I'm way behind on listening, but here's a thought I wanted to share. I just listened to your episode covering Out of Mind, Out of Sight, and in that episode, you had some disbelief regarding Marcy's actions and the way she speaks. Like, it doesn't really seem like something that she would say or do. You also considered the chance that Marcy actually had a crush on Cordelia. The more I think about this episode and the character of Marcy, the more it feels like she's portraying a pretty stereotypical, quote, incel boy. The behavior and the dialogue feels like something that an angry, sexually frustrated incel dude would say and do. Like, the pretty and popular girls owe him their attention. Like, he's entitled to it. And like, when he doesn't get it, he turns his frustration into murderous aggression. I wonder if the role of Marcy was originally written as an incel boy and later changed. Not that girls couldn't ever be similarly frustrated incel girls, but for me, everything in Marcy's behavior just reeks of a stereotypical incel boy. So there's some thoughts for you from Finland, all the way from Finland, you know?
I'm just thinking about like, okay, what am I thinking about? I feel like what this makes me think about is I feel like somebody who just walked into like an area where somebody spilled like 100 marbles. And I'm just desperately trying to get my feet under me. What if the character wasn't originally written as a dude, but it was written by a dude who like just couldn't find the sort of like nuance to make it feel more authentic.
Okay, so story by Joss Whedon, teleplay by Ashley Gable and Thomas Swiden. So there is actually, it's one of the rare episodes that has a woman writer in the beginning here. American screenwriter and producer. She's worked on Buffy and Person of Interest. And was the executive producer on The Mentalist, which was a CBS crime drama. Anyway, I still support the theory that we could have aired or sort of like angled into incel boy territory because of some gentlemen at the helm. Okay, Jenny, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw a curveball at you. I'm going to give you a Halloween switcheroo theory email.
Okay.
Then we'll do what Dawn was doing, and then we'll end talking about a music question.
Yes.
Good?
Great.
Okay, Ruthie
Hey,
wrote
what
in.
about pet sounds?
Oh, and then after we talk about music, you will play music.
Okay.
For everyone at home, most notably all the pets.
Yes.
Okay. So Ruthie, our listener Ruthie, writes in your episode about Halloween, Kristin pointed out that Buffy doesn't seem to turn into an actual woman from the 1700s, but rather her idea of what that was. I think that's true, and I would like to take it a step further. Ethan Rayne's spell doesn't turn people into the costumes that they bought. It turns them into, capital letters, the thing they are dressed up as. I think that the most compelling evidence for this is Xander. The only thing he gets from Ethan's is the gun, which probably could be used for a few different costumes, but Xander uses other clothes to dress up as army guy, so that's what he turns into. Willow's transformation also follows this form. She wears a ghost costume from Ethan's, but she also views her clothes under the ghost sheet as a costume, so she turns into a ghost wearing those clothes rather than a floaty sheet goat. Ghost!
Goat?
Not a goat.
A Halloween goat?
It's a ghost. Oh, fuck. And I wrote down a note for myself that doesn't even make any sense anymore, but remind me to tell you about something in Chatham, Massachusetts after I finish this. Then Buffy has in her mind the kind of girl she thinks Angel hung out with in his pre-vampire days. That's what she dresses up as, and so that's what she turns into. So it seems like the spell only applies to people wearing items from Ethan's store, but it takes the person's costume intentions and turns them into reality. For me, Ruthie says, this has two implications. The first has to do with the vampire in Buffy's house. If that's a person in a vampire costume and the person doesn't know about the rule of needing to be invited in, maybe it doesn't apply. Since they dressed up as a vampire without that rule, that's what the spell got from their intentions, and that's what they turned into. This feels like a bit of a stretch. I doubt it's what the writers intended, but it kind of works. The more important implication, though, is for the little kid dressed as a potato. I didn't finish reading this email. I just trusted it was going to go where I needed it to. And Ruthie, you did not let me down. If that kid did, in fact, get their costume from Ethan's, we can at least hope they dressed up as Potato Kid or some other superhero they made up and that they merely acquired some potato-based superpowers and didn't actually turn into a potato. Fingers crossed.
None can stand against my starch ray.
Oh.
The hills have eyes, and so do I.
Oh my God, Jenny, wow. Really quick. It's like first you're standing on marbles and then you're, quick as anything.
I contain multitudes. I have many skills.
Yes, and layers. Okay, before we do what was Dawn doing, since I wrote down so that I wouldn't forget and then forgot, I'm just going to tell you, when we were talking about Alan Cumming and all of his big gay outfits, it reminded me of an experience that I had with Avanti last week. So last week I was away. Since my dad passed, my mom has decided that she's going to take us all to Cape Cod for a week in September, right? That's what she's doing. Did we ever go to Cape Cod as young people ever as a family? Literally never. But she got it in her head that this was where we were going. So last year last year was the first year, and we had like a decent amount of input into the place that we stayed. And it was like a beach fucking little house with like whatever. It was like nothing fancy, right? And this year, my mom, we kept sending her places like that, and she kept being like, but what about this house? And it was like my mom is like, really appreciates not like necessarily things that are just fancy, but things that are recognized as fancy, like she wants the thing because of the name that it has. Like this is like my mom's house. So we wind up staying at a house in Chatham, and, Chatham is a beautiful place. It's just a very, it has a particular wealth and whiteness to it, and it's just a lot of the Cape, but Chatham is it's a special place in that regard. And so it's my mom's choice, really. We're just going along for the ride. So we're in Chatham, which is relevant to the fact that we're driving, Avanti and I are driving, and she goes, "Oh my God, is that David from Schitt's Creek?" Not literally David from Schitt's Creek, but there was a collection of folks, maybe 3 folks walking down the side of the road, and one of them was this gentleman wearing like some kind of thick furry boot with then like some other clothes and a giant oversized. He literally looked like David in the episode of Schitt's Creek where he like it gets adopted by the people that like live in the middle of he's like in the middle of the field wearing an oversized shirt with the fucking thing. You know what I'm talking about, Jenny? Have you seen Schitt's Creek?
Yes, I have, but it was a while ago.
Anyway, thinking of Alan Cumming and his big gay outfits reminded me that I had this experience seeing the actual David from Schitt's Creek walking down the streets of Chatham. If you are a listener, if David from Chatham, New York, David from Schitt's Creek from Chatham, New York, from Chatham, Massachusetts is listening, I'm sorry, and please let me know that you're a listener. Thank you.
Dang.
Okay, Jenny, would you like to know what Dawn was doing?
Isn't that why we're here?
Was she at the mall? Was she at ballet? Was she drawn on a trapper keeper all day? Was she nursing a crush on a boy from PE? Was she writing it all down in her diary? What was Dawn doing? What was Dawn doing? What was Dawn doing? What was Dawn doing?
Kristin with an I writes in, here is what Dawn was doing during Lie to Me. When Dawn hears Buffy sneak back in after the park, she slams her bedroom door with more force than intended. It isn't anger, it's nerves. If Buffy looks at her too closely, she might see the truth written all over her. The missing journal, gone since Halloween, holds Buffy's greatest secret. If someone finds it, Dawn will be the one who ruined everything. After school, she launches another desperate search. Retracing her Halloween steps, she even checks the old woman's house where she last carried it, heart pounding as if she might spot it sitting on the porch where that ghost was sleeping. But the journal is gone. The weight in her chest only grows heavier. Her fear bubbles out that night in a string of questions aimed at Buffy. Why keep it a secret? Wouldn't people want to know? Wouldn't they be proud? Already pulled thin between Ford and Angel drama, Buffy finally snaps. It's not that simple, before storming to the kitchen to make herself hot cocoa with little marshmallows. When Angel arrives and their voices drift from the kitchen, Dawn doesn't even try to listen. Tonight, she's too wrapped up in her own disaster. The next evening, Dawn tears apart her room, her backpack, even the laundry basket, as though the journal might magically reappear. When Buffy comes home after saving Chanterelle and most of the Sunset Club, Dawn presses again. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad if people knew. This time, Buffy doesn't dodge. She tells the truth. When she was first called, she told their parents. They didn't believe her. They sent her to an inpatient psychiatric hospital. Dawn freezes. She remembers that time. Her parents told her Buffy was just visiting Aunt Arlene in Illinois. Gutted, Dawn sees Buffy for the first time as a girl who carries unbearable weight alone. Her voice breaks on a vow. I won't tell, ever. Not even Mom. I promise.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Kristin with an I, these are getting so real.
And intense and awesome.
And awesome. Thank you for writing in on what Dawn was doing in the already gutting episode, Lie to Me, just giving us one more scene to crack our hearts into tiny little pieces.
I'm sad.
Jenny.
Okay.
Don't worry. Talking about music will cheer you up.
Yay!
This is from Katie, who said, I meant to send this in weeks ago, but I kept forgetting. Very relatable content, Katie.
Yes.
Oh, and it's because I'm usually driving when I'm listening to buffering, so I can't type. Good. And please keep up that kind of behavior. One of the things that Katie loves about the song for Reptile Boy is the combination of aw, fuck it with dang frat party. The repetition of fuck it makes it so clear that Jenny as Buffy isn't self-censoring when she says dang frat party. She just means dang frat party, which is a whole different vibe than damn frat party.
Totally.
Frustration rather than anger, maybe, with a slight undercurrent of whimsy. So great. But that's the opening for a question that's bopped around in my head for a while. Would you talk about how you think about cursing within buffering songs and when to include or avoid it? It always amuses me that in Witch, we have Amy's mom is a total ahem, and then we turn right around and saying, would you get a fucking load of this substitute in Teacher's Pet?
Yeah.
Was that a shift in how you thought about your audience or a change in the boundaries you set for yourselves, or just a coincidence stemming from what best suited the song and the characters?
I think it's characters and song because I was thinking like, oh, even though Buffy finds out what she finds out about Catherine the Great, Amy's mom, in Witch, I think she still would kind of like feel tethered to talk about somebody else's parents with like a certain amount of respect. And especially like to her peers, also to Giles, to Amy herself, you know?
Yeah. I also think, I mean, my first thought in reading this was that Jenny, I think you are much more particular with when to use a curse. Because I definitely, if it had been up to me, there would have definitely been like a bucket more curse words in the songs, which you could probably tell just by listening to us talk. And I think that you very selectively said yes to some of them. The fuck it in particular, I think that's why I thought of it, is because I think the fuck it, I remember like doing that, being like, that feels good. But I think you, notably the songwriter betwixt us, have a lot more attention to like retaining power for things too. Like not only is it like
maybe you can't just, if you use that word all the time, it's not going to mean anything when you
right
go back for it.
Yeah, so I think, you know, Jenny, more of a poet than me, has more restraint, you know, in crafting lyrics, and also like not just crafting one song, but knowing like we're making 160 of these or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that also went into it for you. But I thought that was interesting because I had never really thought about it as like up against each other, sort of like that. Oh, you say,
yeah, like, I was not cognizant of those two being back to back.
Yeah.
And what they contain. Funny.
Are you going to curse at all in our pet sounds, or is it clean for the children?
I mean, that's not really up to me. It's up to the composer.
Did you grow up in a household with swear words being said a lot, or no?
They were sometimes said by people who were not me.
But that's what I mean. Like,
it was not welcome. It was not supposed to be happening.
So like if your mom was upset, she would not curse when upset often?
Yeah, I think she would try not to.
I just wonder if that's where the divide is between you and I, you know?
Oh, maybe.
Because I feel like my mom cursed all the time. She didn't say fuck a lot, but she said shit all the time and bitch a lot too, you know?
Gosh.
There was it was a presence in my household, and I couldn't say those things, but I heard them all the time. So like clearly Once I started using language in a way where you can loop curse words in, I was off to the races. Oh my God, can I tell one more story before you play your pet sound?
Yeah.
Maybe I've already told this. I'm not sure, but my ex before Jen, has a niece, and she was super, super small when we started dating. She was like 6 months old, and so like I dated Jen for 5 years. So like I was very, very much around her through all of her earliest years of growing up. And now they're from Boston, okay? West Roxbury to be specific. And there's a lot of very free-flowing cursing happening there. And kids are good, I think, right? And if you disagree, at understanding, like even if you're a kid who like can curse in your house or like, you know, is aware of curse words, you kind of like know when and when not to. Like you're not going to just go into school and start cursing up a storm because you understand something about like that you can't say that there or you shouldn't say that there. Anyway, these were kids who were well-versed in like using curse words here and there when appropriate. The littlest one was 3. Okay, so that's early. No one's really cursing at 3. She's up on her grandmother's bed. They called her Nana. And she's saying, Nana, get me a bubba, right? Which was a bottle. She wanted a bottle. Nana, like, didn't hear her the first couple times. And then, you know, just taking her time, getting the bottle together, whatever. So you hear from upstairs, like, a little bit angrier. Nana, get me my bubba. A little bit more time passes and you hear from upstairs, Nana, get me my fucking bubba.
Well, and that's how you get it done.
We died because it was like perfect execution. You know, like it wasn't just like a little kid saying fuck. It was like absolute perfect sentence structure. Just nailed it at age 3. So
very pleasing escalation.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, now I'm done talking about children cursing, and Jenny can sing you a song for what's this cat's name?
Scout.
A song for Scout.
Ah, yes. Allie writes in, my cat Scout famously screams meows for dinner, as most cats do, and for years I've been singing her a parody of Behind Blue Eyes by The Who. Turns out that's also the song Giles sings in the espresso pump. Let's see if I can pull this out a little bit more successfully than Michelle. Last Watcher's Diary. Yeah, okay, let's see. Let's see what we got. No one knows what it's like to be the mad cat, to be the sad cat. Behind blue eyes. I'm sorry, green eyes. There we go. No one knows what it's like to be as hungry as I do. And I hate you. But my dreams aren't as empty as my food bowl seems to be. I have minutes, oh, so hungry. To be frank, I'm not super locked in on the end, like the melody of the end of this chorus, but I'm just going to keep soldiering on. My meow is vengeance. That's never free. And that's the end.
Oh my God. Incredible. My dreams aren't as empty as my food bowl. What was the lyric?
As my food bowl seems to be.
Seems to be.
I have minutes. Art. Oh, so hungry. My meow is vengeance. That's never free.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, that's some poetry. That's some grade A poetry.
Absolutely A+ content here. If you sing songs to your pets, you can email us at hello@buffraycast. Jenny may sing one at the end. Jenny may sing your pet a song.
Oh, yeah. And I'll definitely say pss, 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 to your pet no matter what.
Like everyone just like pulled all their cats off of them from the first time. They're all back again. Well, Jenny?
Are we doing a good job? Is this good podcasting, do you think?
You know, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know what this means, but on Spotify, it always says, like, you have this many comments on your show. And, like, when I go into the back end of the thing, it's always, like, our regular episodes are like, you have, like, 5 comments. And then the Watcher's Diaries are always like, you have 14 comments. So, like, I think that we're getting people engaged.
People are engaged. People have a lot to say about Suri.
Yeah, they're having a good time. Am I watching anything on television? Absolutely not. Absolutely never. I'm not doing anything. I'm just trying, as I told Jenny yesterday, I'm just trying to stay alive at this point.
It's a good goal. It's a good goal.
All right, Jenny, what's the next episode? The Dark Age?
The Dark Age. Blue Goo.
Speaking of Giles.
Yeah.
All right.
Get ready.
This has been another Watcher's Diary.
It really has. See you later, Kristin.
I've got a homicide in Springfield's North Woods by mile marker 16.
You are now entering Springfield. Where's the body?
Off the side of the ditch down there. You know, surrounded by all this crime scene tape.
Hello? Am I dead?
My name is John. I'm the new forensic pathologist. I can see you, and that's how we'll figure out how you were murdered.
That means ghosts are real.
Since then, I've noted multiple additional missing case files and even missing bodies.
Let's say I believe you came across some record-keeping discrepancies and a string of deaths. You're not an investigator, Jonathan. Stop trying to be one.
After everything I've discovered, I just need to know why. What happened in Springfield?
Going somewhere, Dr. Spacer?
Listen to How I Died, a full-cast police and medical procedural podcast with over 40 episodes already available. Then, tune into Season 4 of How I Died, releasing now on all podcast apps.
From the darkest corners of our imagination comes a game show that's more ridiculous than terrifying. Welcome to Tickled to Death, the horror comedy game show where nothing is sacred, everything's a little unhinged, and the only thing more cursed than the questions are the jokes. I'm Roz Hernandez, your fearless host, and each week I'll be leading a brave group of guests through twisted horror trivia, improv games, and enough sarcastic banter to make you question all your life's choices. So come for the screams, stay for the snark. Listen to Tickled to Death wherever you get your podcasts, and hit follow unless you want the show to follow you. In the meantime, don't get tickled to death.